Welcome, everybody. Joe with ECRM here, and I have with me today two special guests. I have Luke Schneider and Jason Patton, both with Fire Department Coffee, and they're both active firefighters. And here, checking out their packaging, really cool stuff. So today we're gonna, and they've been to a lot of our sessions, and they are also registered for our upcoming Global Market Food and Beverage. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the background of the company, the products that they have, where they're distributed, and some of the really cool things that they are doing to help out first responders. So Luke and Jason, thank you for joining us. And I guess to kick it off, could you just give an overview of the company and your backgrounds and how it came about?
Yeah. No, thank you so much for having us on, Joe. We appreciate it. So, yeah, actually, the company we started, we founded it about 5 years ago. It originally was Pie Roasters is what it was. And Luke Schneider, the CEO, the gentleman below me with the wonderful displays behind him. God, those look good. Almost like people would want to pick those products up. But yeah, he founded it. And when he was making a bunch of different roasts and then he created the fire department coffee or the fire department roast, and then he was donating a portion of it to help with charities. And he found that people loved that roast the most, so we created fire department coffee. And I came in probably about 6 months later, where I make funny videos for firefighters and EMS personnel. Thankfully allowing people to laugh a little bit, relieve some mental health. And he called me up. He said, "Hey, we should work together." I said, "Send me the coffee first. I want to try it." And he sent it to me, and I was like, "This is actually really, really good. Let's do this." So we created Fire Department Coffee, and it's been amazing ever since. We've always said, we are firefighters, but we make coffee for every hardworking man and woman all across the world. So it's been an incredible venture. We've seen recently an explosion in our products and what people want from us, and thankfully a huge interest in our company in general. So it's been amazing.
Excellent. Well, I've tried the coffee out, and it is great. I'm really particular about my coffee because I do intermittent fasting. So in the mornings, my coffee's black.
Oh, yeah.
So it has to be good coffee. Otherwise, I really tell the difference if it's not. So,
Yeah.
so I had put this in my Keurig. Awesome stuff.
That was the biggest thing that I loved about it when I first tried it, and I think that's kind of what speaks volumes to the company itself. I didn't, again, Luke created it. He's insane with the numbers and making sure the blends are perfect together and they harmonize. You get the sweetness and the bold flavor that you want, because firefighters in general are extremely particular about their coffee, but we want it like super strong. We want it thick, mud coffee. And if it's low grade coffee, you're gonna get that nasty, like bitter, acidic flavor that you don't want from a coffee. And let me tell you that it's everything the opposite of that. It's incredible and good bold flavors.
It makes a big difference. That definitely makes a difference. So, Luke, you got all the products behind us. Can you take us through the lineup?
Yeah, so back here we have our retail displays, and on the top we have our skull crushing espresso, which is really popular. The packaging speaks for itself. It's a nice, bold, smooth coffee. And like Jason said, the stronger you brew the coffee, the better it tastes.
I love the design. I love that design. It's really cool.
Yeah. That's what we're going for. We want aesthetically pleasing as well as pleasing to the mouth. That's get your eyes to enjoy it while you're sipping it. So.
Was that your skull, Jason, that
yes,
they used?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they just my ginger skull right on there. It's good to go.
This is our original. This is where it all started. It was our first blend when we first started. It was the only coffee we have. We have this in our single serve pods, and on the front of the bag, if you can see that, it says veteran owned. We're a Novova certified veteran owned business, so we'll be in the diversity and minority owned food and beverage summit coming up here, which we're really looking forward to that, because that's something that we're really proud of. I was a Navy veteran before I was a firefighter, actually a shipboard firefighter. And I always wanted to be a civilian firefighter, so I got out of the Navy and became a civilian firefighter. Mm-hmm. So we have the single serve pods. We don't have all the coffees on these displays. We also have a spirit infused coffee, which we'll be selling our bourbon infused, which is one of our most popular spirit infused coffees. And Jason describes the spirit infused coffee really well, so I'll let him describe that. But it's something we're really proud of. It's unique to us. It's a proprietary coffee that we created.
I mean, it sounds like you just described it, but I mean, no, we were extremely excited about this. We've had the spirit infused since essentially the inception of Fire Department Coffee, but we've seen a really big ramp up in people's interest in it, and and I think it's obviously. We've been able to develop some pretty incredible flavors in it, but what's amazing, what I think sets us apart is exactly what Luke said. It's proprietary type of process, so we're able to infuse the beans prior to roasting with whatever spirit that we're utilizing. So Irish whiskey infused, we have black cherry bourbon, vanilla bean bourbon, just wonderful bold flavors. So we infuse it into the beans, then we roast it, and the beans retain that wonderful flavor that you look for your post 5 o'clock beverage, but it also keeps that nice bold flavor of the coffee that you're looking for as well. So it's the perfect harmonious blend between the two, and it's safe for work. So it's great.
Yeah, well, I have to. The one that I have is the bourbon one, and it smells amazing. So I'm looking forward to trying that. And who says it has to be post 5 o'clock when you when you're talking about spirits?
Yeah, you're right.
It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Exactly. Yes. And that's what will be on the termination paperwork. Is he just said it's 5 o'clock somewhere? So.
Right. Well, we're working from home now, so it's
there you go. Yeah.
So, and you guys are both active firefighters, correct?
So I'm an active duty firefighter currently down in Florida. Our chief operating officer as well. We have retired firefighters that work for us. Our head roasters also. So yeah, we're proud to still be on the streets doing what we're doing. It really keeps us. I believe it allows us to keep communicating with what we enjoy doing as firefighters, and then especially on the charitable side, we're seeing the boots on the ground. We're seeing what's happening with the firefighters and first responders around us, and I think that's what's made us so passionate about making sure that we built our company not just on profits, but on helping the community around us first, because that's what we do as first responders, and then allowing the profits come from there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing with some of these organizations?
Absolutely. So originally, when we first started, as we said, when the Fire Department Coffee or the Fire Department Blend was created, when I especially started working with Fire Department Coffee, we wanted to make sure that we were helping people around us, because we see it all the time. We see guys get injured, and a lot of times there's no financial relief to help them, or with mental health, they can't pay for flights or whatever it is. So I said to Luke, in my exact words, where I hate charities, because it just seemed like all the charities that we were looking at to donate to, it was we donate $100 and only $10 actually goes to the individual who needs the help. Yeah. So that's where we founded the Fire Department Coffee Charitable Foundation. So we take 10% of all of our net proceeds and we donate it back to helping sick and injured first responders. But what we found has the greatest impact, because a lot of times it's really hard for us to vet the stories that are out there. Mm-hmm. So we go right to the source. So we find the benevolent funds. We find the people that are watching their own members suffer or they need help. We go right to them and we say, hey, look, we're going to give you this money. Please utilize it to help your fellow first responders around you. And then as well, and again, the mental health things become very passionate for us. And some guys just can't afford to take a week off or whatever it is. And that's where these funds come in to help them no matter what it is. So it's been incredible.
That's awesome. And you're right, the mental health aspect, it's something that hasn't gotten as much play as it should. And I think now it's finally people starting to talk about it. Yeah. I listen to different podcasts and like we talked about before, like a Jocko Willing, Joe Rogan, those guys, and they're starting to bring that up and talk a lot more. So I think it's getting more into, the mass media is starting to recognize that there are issues here. So anything that can be done to help on that level, it's a real thing. It's just not as visible as a physical injury, so it tends to get overlooked.
Exactly.
Great. So where are you guys currently distributed? How long have you been around, and where are you distributed?
Luke?
We've been around for just around 5 years, and we're primarily direct to consumer. So we've built our brand mainly through our online sales, and that's been our core focus, is building our brand, making sure the product is the highest quality as possible, making sure that we always, maintain those high standards, that we're able to create a great experience for the customers and really get our messaging out there of our company being run by firefighters, being able to give back, and that we're veteran owned. And so just getting the right messaging out there has been our focus. And we've been able to, through this, build a pretty robust online presence. And just to give you a little bit of idea of our growth, when we started in an 800 square foot strip mall. Jason came out like for a second or third time, and he looked at our operations, and we had a 5 kilo roaster. My brother's in a sleeping bag on the floor. We got boxes stacked up all over the place, and we were roasting in this 5 kilo roaster literally for about 3 months straight, 24/7. And we're like, we got to get into this new space. So we bought another building. We moved our roasting facility there. And now we just acquired another building where we will do it with 36,000 square feet, where we'll do all of our shipping out of. So we'll have a building, 2 buildings in Rockford, one where we do all of our roasting, where we have around 6 million pound capacity each year, max capacity. And then we'll do all of our shipping out of the other building. And at the rate we're growing, we'll likely probably purchase another building and get a larger roasting facility in the next few years. But we have a lot of room for growth, and we feel that we've been able to really get it dialed in with the online and the social media and stuff like that. So now we're working with ECRM to help us get to talk to the retailers and get our product into the retail space. And so that's our next avenue of growth that we're focusing on. And it's been going really well since we started doing these ECRM conferences.
Yeah, with ECRM, we should, I think, hopefully in the next 30 days, we'll be in just over 250 retail stores, which has been very, very, very cool for us. Yeah.
That's great. Well, you guys are perfectly set up. And, when I talk to new and emerging brands about that whole process, it's like, you need to build that foundation. And the best way to build it initially is direct to consumer, build that audience, build those successes. And then you go into your first meetings with a buyer and you have those feathers in your cap. You're saying, look at the velocity, and then you could start getting into, and now you're ready. You have the space, you have the capacity. Mm-hmm. So now you're ready to ramp it up to that next level, which is where we help to take you. So that's great. Sounds like you guys are like all ready to go. Yeah. And what was your experience like how did you find out about us, and what was your experience like, through the prep, how you worked with our team to get ready and the meetings themselves?
Honestly, so you guys came up through a consultant that we were dealing with, trying to get into retail, brought up ECRM. And what was funny was with anything, when he first started talking about retail, we're primary direct to consumer. So he starts throwing out all these like acronyms and stuff. And I'm like, I have no clue what you're talking about, bro. Yeah, C stores and stuff like that. I'm like,
this acronym?
C? Yeah. So he, but it was just such a cool experience in general. Luke and I, being firefighters, we've been to many conventions where you go in there, you get to see all, different stuff. And conventions are great in person. They definitely have their place. But what was so incredible to us with ECRM virtual wise was, we loved how everything was set out. You have 5 minutes to have this conversation, or 10 minutes to have your conversation. Make sure you're good to go. Get everything. Because I truly believe it allowed you to focus in on the things that needed to be said the most. You find out really fast whether or not you can work together, and then you get to move on to the next meeting versus getting stuck there for 40 minutes talking to someone about their puppy who's named Fire Department Coffee for some odd reason. But it's incredible stuff, and it really helps for fast growth. As we've seen some incredible success with this, because people know what they're going there for. We know what we're going there for. We have a mutual conversation. Hopefully we like each other, and then we can move on to the next meeting or whatever it is. So from day one, it's been incredible. Alan is the main person that we've been dealing with. She's amazing. Like just the team is very good. It's precise. These are your meetings. This is what time it's going to be. Please be 10 minutes early, so on and so forth. And, from day one to now, the multiples that we've done, it's extremely professional, very well put together. I would suggest this to anybody.
What a lot of people don't think about, which you just captured perfectly in what you said, is the people part and the process part that's behind it. I know as firemen, everything's drills and process, and you have a specific format, and we do the same thing. And that's what Allie is great at. She's one of our client success managers, so we have a team of, I think, between 40 and 50 of them, and all they do is work with people like you guys to make sure you're all set up and ready to go. And and to make sure that you succeed, and you're all prepared as possible, so that you have a lot of success during the
Yeah.
conversations. And you also nailed it when you talked about how it focuses the conversations more, because we did these in person for 25 years, 26
Mhm.
years before this, but now what we notice is virtually it really enhances the focus
Oh
on
yeah.
both the buyer and the supplier side. And so what length meetings did you do? Did you do the 5 or 10, or did you do both?
We did 5 and 10.
Okay.
5 is fun. Five's intense. That's it. That's what I would say. Five is good. You got a lot. You got a very short amount of time to get a lot of information out. Five was good if it's you got a short pitch. For us, our pitch
Mhm.
takes roughly 3 minutes. So 3 to 3.5 minutes for a good, well-paced pitch. So 10 minutes was beautiful because it allowed us to give a good pitch, answer any additional questions that they would have on top of that, and then just have some general banter back and forth, which is always fun. Because look, business is business, right? You can find business pretty much anywhere, but if you can create an emotional connection with the people that you're speaking with, if you can talk about something that's behind them, or maybe their last name is similar to yours, so on and so forth, then you can generally give them something to visit back on after they've talked to 60 other companies. So I think 10 minutes is perfect. Gives you the right amount of business, the right amount of pleasure, and exactly what you need to form a nice pairing.
How did you guys prep for it, as far as your research and practicing your pitch and all that?
Tons of coffee, like literally tons of coffee. No.
That's pretty funny, because that's what most people say. They're like, first off, because Jason does most of the pitching, because he's better. He talks a lot more than me. So, but he does a phenomenal job, and I enjoy watching him because he's entertaining. So if you ever get a presentation with us, please be prepared to be entertained by Jason, because it's pretty fun watching him. But the common question is, first off, that was amazing. Second, how much coffee have you had today? And
Yep.
Jason's like this all the time, though. He's just a fun guy to be around.
Yeah.
So
He's
Yeah.
mainlining. He's mainlining the
Yeah,
coffee.
mainlining the stuff. It's good. No, it's but no, the preparation was it was good preparation. We enjoyed it because we got to go in and out, and any questions we had, the back end side, you guys were incredible helping us out, getting everything set up with Range Me, all that fun stuff. But the preparation was pretty straightforward. Make sure that your presentation looks good. Make sure it's visually pleasing to people. Make sure you have the pitch down, all the information. But some of it is natural struggle that you would have, because we don't. There were questions they would ask and we didn't know the answers to, because we weren't retail savvy at the moment. And that's where our consultant did a great job helping us out. And then once he consulted us enough, we, he let us go, and then now we're here. So it's been an incredible experience, and I could not be more seamless, especially with the back end side, the easy communication. Hey, we want to email you. Just go. It's right there on the link. Bink. We got the information. And then you can even make notes. Like it's an incredible setup.
Yeah, that's the main thing. We want to make it easy. Take all of the put as many features or functions in there that are related to the buying and selling process, so that you could just basically do everything in the platform, the follow-ups and all that, like you said. So that's great. I'm glad that you had it. I'm glad that you practiced your pitch and narrowed it down to 3 or 4 minutes, and because people don't realize how important that is. It's to make sure, one, you have your pitch down, but two, you got to leave some room for Q&A, because they're going to have some questions. They're always going to want to have some questions, and you want to encourage that, and make that, tailor it to them. So this way you can tailor your offerings to that.
And questions are good. Questions mean that they're interested. I mean, if they just stare at you, then that's probably not.
Yes, exactly. Well, I don't think they'd be bored with you guys in a meeting for some reason.
I always like when they stare, because then I get to point out the awkward. Be like, all right, let's just do this for another 30 seconds till this meeting ends.
Right? You'll get the warning come up.
Yeah, who's going to blink first? Let's go.
Yeah. So now that you've done a few of these, right? Because you mentioned you've done several. You got one next week at our diversity summit. Just in general, your opinion of virtual as a tool for a business like your own.
I think in general, virtual is an extremely important tool. Obviously, we know diversifying any business is very important. You know, there's going to be meetings where you need to fly in, shake some hands, brew some coffee, you know, that kind of thing, you know, schmooze, that kind of fun stuff. But virtual is so important for a business like ours because, you know, we're a medium-sized business. I'd probably venture still medium. You know, we're not big yet, and we don't have the financial funds to just be flying to a million different places. So to be able to sit down, you know, in 3 days and meet, you know, 30 different companies from literally all across the world, you know, Canada, so on and so forth. Virtual is an extremely important tool because it truly allows you to get the reach that you need to grow a small business into a large business.
That's great. And then right now you focus on the U.S. Are you going to look to expand beyond that down the road?
We've had some communications with some Canadian companies as well, and those went very well. So hopefully soon, we'll see.
Very cool. What do you think? 'Cause I know you guys registered for the Global Market Food and Beverage. What do you think of that format and the content that we have for you guys?
We're excited. It's going to be very cool. You know, you always want to learn about the global market because the fact is that that's what's shifting around us. We always want to be able to move and shift with the things around us. So, yeah, we're very excited about that as well. We do ship worldwide, which has been incredible for us, especially with the reach through Fire Department Chronicles and the videos and stuff like that. You know, so we want to learn more about what's going on around us in the world. It's always good to know that.
All right. Well, we have buyers and suppliers from every continent except Antarctica that are going to be participating in that. So, you know, do they even have any stores in that? You
know who needs coffee? People in Antarctica. That Antarctica I mean, they're literally freezing. So
there's got to be some person out there selling coffee.
We're going to put one little station out there, Fire Department Coffee.
I'll have to look out for that and see, do a little investigation of what stores are down there, if any. I don't even know if there are people down there. So, but anyway, it should be really cool. I'm looking forward to having you guys come. And again, send me questions to ask Gary V. Absolutely. And where do you see you guys down the road? You know, what are there new things that'll be coming out that you can tell us about?
We have a new and innovative, first of its kind, ready to drink that we are finalizing the development of right now, which it'll be the first of its kind. No one will ever see it. We can say this will be something that'll be picked up at 7-Eleven and used at bars for amazing mixed drinks. So it's going to be very, very cool. We're very excited about it. And then hopefully our cafe expansion will happen as well. So we're going to see hopefully a big, larger expansion in direct to consumer, then a lot of retail, then our ready to drink, and then you'll be walking into our cafes enjoying it throughout your workday. So
very cool. And then yeah, we'll get you ready to drink over at my spot, the Thirsty Koala, and we'll have the bartenders create some interesting things with it.
Let's go.
Awesome. Well, Jason, Luke, thank you so much. I look forward. Good luck next week, and I look forward to catching up with you guys at the Global Market Food and Beverage.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
for having us.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye.